time has come. It is time for Assassinins Creed Valhalla. Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Anthony with Cratylus Gaming, and today I'm going to give you my first impressions of Assassinins Creed Valhalla. We're going to talk about the graphics, the audio, the overall atmosphere of the game world, the gameplay mechanics, and of course the plot. There will be no spoilers here, guys, so don't worry about that if you haven't played it yet. And before we get into it, if you guys like this video, be sure to leave me a like. It really helps out the channel. And hey, if you like game reviews and you want to see more game reviews, consider subscribing to the channel. There'll be new reviews every week, as well as some additional content discussing the gaming industry and other gaming news. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. Assassinins Creed Valhalla. So my favorite, graphics. The visuals in this game look really, really good. Ubisoft, hey, hats off to you guys. Nice job. Graphics look great. The footage you're seeing is coming to you at 1080p. That was the best setting that I could get on my PC performance-wise. I could have ran it a little higher, but I was getting some lower frames, so I decided to run it at 1080p. It looks really good still. It looked great at 4K too when I played it at 4K for a little bit. Fantastic job visually with this game. Audio-wise, the game delivers a decent audio experience. It's nothing to write home about, but it's what you would expect from a Ubisoft game / any AAA title. It does its job, and when combined with the stunning graphics, it creates a really nice atmosphere for this game. Overall, the atmosphere, the world they built here with Assassinins Creed Valhalla, it feels really authentic. It feels deep. It feels like there's a lot to do. There's a lot to explore. It feels large. It is a very large world. And there's just a ton to do. There's so many NPCs to talk to. There's storylines to uncover. There's things to read. There's people that you can interact with in certain ways. I mean, there is a lot here that you can do. It's much more a deeper experience than we get with Watch Dogs Legion, for example, also by Ubisoft. So again, I mean, it seems overall like they did a really nice job here. Obviously, I'm only 5 hours in, so that could change, but so far, so good. The atmosphere of the game, really good. The world they built seems really good, seems very deep. We will see as time goes on. In terms of gameplay mechanics, obviously it's Assassin's Creed, so the one thing people are worried about is the combat system. Does the combat feel good? Does it feel like Assassin's Creed should? There's debate on what that experience should actually be like. I personally am not a huge fan of the combat system in this game. I think the combat system, it just feels a little lackluster. It doesn't feel like I'm this super badass Viking warrior. It could just be that I haven't unlocked enough abilities yet. That's a fair assessment. But just the way the combat feels in general, it doesn't feel fluid enough where I would like it to be. Like the combat felt in Odyssey more so, and even before that with Unity, it felt just more Assassin's Creed-like to me. Hopefully that makes sense, but I just like a more fluid combat system with a lot of counters and yes, some button mashing, but more of a skill-based button system. Some people will disagree with me, but that's where I stand on that. So far the combat for me hasn't felt particularly good. If I had to rate it out of a 10, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. So in terms of other gameplay systems this game has, historically Assassin's Creed has always had some type of leveling system where there's usually a skill tree. This is true again for Valhalla. It has a rather large, intimidating skill tree. The skill tree looks really big. It looks like it interweaves into itself. Depending on which path you take, I'd have to get into it more to determine if I like it or not, but so far I thought it offers the player a level of customization that we haven't really seen before with Assassin's Creed games. The inventory system from Odyssey makes its return here. You have the same type of inventory interface. You can upgrade your equipment. You can loot items and find weapons in the environment. The map features are generally really helpful. The only thing with this game is that it specifically doesn't point you in the direction of interesting places or loot or anything the player would find of interest by default, even when you synchronize. This was the same as in Odyssey. You have to buy the utility upgrade from the Ubisoft store if you want to have all the markers preloaded onto your map so you can see where everything is. This is, of course, a microtransaction. Some people will find that offensive or find that shouldn't be in the game. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal. They have gotten rid of the leveling block from Odyssey that you basically had to buy this upgrade to level up faster if you wanted to make any meaningful progress in the game. I haven't seen anything like that so far. There's nothing in the store that would suggest that that's a thing this year, but I will keep my eye out for anything like that. I haven't seen it so far. The other microtransactions I've seen are obviously you can buy some in-game currency and you can buy some things for building settlements and some other cosmetic things. Nothing that would cause me any concern in terms of microtransactions. One of the things that this game has that I am really enjoying is the raid system. The raid system where you can go and raid settlements and take their wealth and their goods and their materials with a longboat and a crew of Vikings. That's really cool, and I'm really enjoying that so far. I don't know if it will get old after a while, if it doesn't change up, if there aren't better enemies to fight or different rewards. I'm not sure how that will play out over 60 hours, but we will see. And really quick, the plot so far, again, I mentioned that long 4-hour intro. It was a very long intro, but again, I felt like it was time well spent. The plot needed that time to breathe. It needed that time to fully set the stage for what was happening, and I thought that it did a nice job. It's not going to come up to the caliber story of a Witcher 3 or anything like that, but it will be a solid Ubisoft story, it seems like. Again, I'm only at the beginning of the story, so I have to reserve judgment for my final full review, but so far the story has been intriguing, and it has definitely kept me engaged and wanting to keep playing the game. Another interesting note about the plot in this game is the continuation of the storyline from Origins and Odyssey. In the background, they have this storyline going with the people that are running the Animus, that small team they have with the staff of Pythagoras and that whole thing. So this time they are investigating the life of this Viking who they found buried in a certain place, and they're at his gravesite and they're reliving his memories. This part of the game has gotten a nice little overhaul. There's some more interaction here. You can go on Layla's computer, you can pull up files, there's audio logs to listen to, there's letters to read, there's some emails to look at, there's different things to interact with. I thought that was really cool. It was a really nice touch. You don't have to do it. That's the thing. It's not mandatory for you to go and have these interactions. The cutscenes are mandatory, but the other side stuff you can explore and find if you're a big fan of the story and want to really get immersed into the world. It really lets you do that. So that's really cool. It's a cool touch for the fans of the series that really want to get into that story of the staff and of the whole backstory behind this whole Animus project. I thought that was awesome. So far, those are my impressions of the game. I thought the game's getting pretty fair reviews from what I've seen so far online. It has a 84 top critic average on OpenCritic, and it is 91% recommended by critics on OpenCritic with a OpenCritic rating of mighty. That looks to be pretty fair from what I've seen so far. Again, that could change and it could take a turn for the worse, but I don't believe that will be the case in this instance. Again, I don't know what my final rating will be yet, but I think that if it continues on the trend it's going, it's going to be pretty high up there. So those are my impressions of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I hope you guys pick this up and enjoy it. If you guys like this video, please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe for more reviews. This is Anthony with Cratylus Gaming, and I will see you guys next time.